Hi, and welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast. I'm your host, Richie.
And I'm your host, Kanzi11, aka Farley. Cue the music.
Keep it for the podcast.
Save it for the podsy.
Podsy, yeah. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about Peat.
Peat.
And
with Peats in it. Piranha Peat?
yeah, well, as we sort of off mic mentioned, Peat is in whiskies.
That guy from Goofy?
Oh, yeah, the big scary Peat guy.
Is he in Steamboat Willie? Is he the bad guy?
Sure.
In which case, it'll be an epic Mickey.
He'll also probably be in Kingdom Hearts in some form.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how much of the... I've played 1 and 2 of that series and dropped off, but I'm not too sure if they bring in the Goofy verse at all, with his son.
I mean, they can. Well, they can. I mean, Goofy does exist. And Daisy, of course, has interactions with Donald. But you never see... What was Goofy's wife? I want to say wife.
I don't think it was. There's that Cal who's in the Goofy style, but I think she's just...
No, but like in Goof Troop, he had a wife, or was Goofy a stepdad? I don't know.
Yeah, it's things you don't want to think about. You don't want to think about Goofy goofing.
Yeah, no. Goofy goofing.
Goofing.
I'm
gonna come!
Oh, God. Call me Mickey. No, yeah, that was awful. Yeah, let's. Oh God, that's nightmare fuel. Right, let's move on.
Actually, before we move on,
yes.
I was listening to some video game music the other day, and I thought, you know what? The Mario series, you might have heard of it.
Is that the one with the plumber guy?
Yeah, mostly came out in Japan.
Okay, yeah.
It's quite obscure. I thought that series has some good songs from the classic 4 tracks or whatever of Mario Bros, etc.
Yeah.
So I was kind of listening to the soundtracks in chronological order by release, and Super Mario World has a much stronger a soundtrack than I remembered.
I love Super Mario World. The soundtrack is amazing, and of course, you get 2 versions of it. You get the version of just Mario, and then you get the version of when when you're on Yoshi.
You get the
bongos in the background.
Drum beat. The is it Slider? I want to call it Slider. Is that the one that goes bam 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 dang dang? Or is that Mario? Slider?
Why do you call it Slider?
That's the name of it.
Where you sort of the bonus level where you jump through.
I don't know. It's the name of the song. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know the name of the song. I would not know the name of it. But what you're humming sounds like that thing where you have to jump up through the level, and there's a sequence on how you hit the question blocks. You've got 3 question blocks, and then you jump to the next level, and then you've got 3 question blocks. But if you hit the wrong one first, they all go bet, and then you have to hit them in the right order in order to get the extra lives.
I think it's that one. Anyway, that one's very good with the Yoshi drums in the background.
Yeah, it's dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Anyway, that was just my thought, because I'm not that familiar with Super Mario World. I've played it through once on the GBA.
Well, keen readers will be able to watch you playing Super Mario World. It's like, I think it was our 2nd episode or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
It
video
was
version of the
really
podcast.
good. It's when we learned that we can't play video games and talk at the same time.
That was good. I might watch that again. I was thinking we should whatever. Carry on. Anyway, what are we talking about? We're on a re-episode, and this week we are repeat, not to be confused with replay or any other ones. And that's because mostly this week I've been playing New Game Pluses, Richie. So let's talk about New
Game Pluses.
Game Plus. You're our dictionary corner, or as close to dictionary corner as we've got, Richie. What
I
is...
put the dick in dictionary corner.
Oh, mate, this episode with the goofy stuff in this, it's just... And you know that, when there's someone utterly bored, like there's no podcast, and they've just like, do you know what, I'm going to randomly scroll down whatever podcast stuff, and they randomly scroll down, they get to position like 17,981, they go, oh, I'll try this one. And you can guarantee they'll pick this episode and hear that stuff up front and be like, nah.
It's funny because I kind of own the domain. I occasionally get emails from people who know that we do podcasts and they want to offer services. And one of the most common services I get offered is transcription. And I just laugh every time. It says, would you like me to transcribe your episode? No. You don't want to do that. No.
It's harmful enough in one medium. Don't expand the media in which it can be experienced.
Yeah.
Anyway, you put the dick in dictionary corner, Richie. What is?
No. You're not allowed. Before I put my dick in anything
in the dictionary, yeah.
We have a thing we do, character item level.
Yes. How could I forget such a well-loved part of season, whatever we're on, 6, 7, 9, 5?
5. Feels like 9. No. We're on season 5, and our gimmick is to do character item level, mixture of 20 questions and video games. And Farley, you have to guess.
Animal, vegetable, mineral. Animal, vegetable. It's
E.
a New Zealand game. Animal,
I don't know, you kind of went South African today.
Mineral?
Crab.
Vegetable? Sorry, South African, New Zealand.
Yeah, basically anybody without a British accent. Apologies. Yeah, sorry, I've got one for you. Start your guesses.
Richie, are you thinking of a video game character, item, or level?
I am thinking of a character.
A character. Is this character a human?
For the sake of not getting you confused, I'm going to say no.
No. For the sake of not getting... Okay, let's just say it's not. Is it not helpful? Let's just say it's not helpful.
It's not helpful.
Okay. Is it a man?
It is, I believe, a male character, yes.
Okay.
Did you do it? A man from
Roger
Rabbit.
Yeah, it's amazing, that character. So all we've got so far is it's a man. Is it from a role-playing game?
No.
Is it from a platformer?
I'm going to say yes.
She's going to say yes, readers. So there's something kooky about humans.
Kooky about it. It's platformy.
Something kookies about platformers.
Yeah.
I just try to avoid this question, but it's so useful for this format. Is it from a Nintendo game?
No.
Ooh. So it's a male-ish, human-ish platformer. Does this game is the game that they're from a series?
Yes.
Do they have games on the SNES?
Ooh. No, I don't think so.
On the PlayStation?
No, I will need to double check that. I'm going to say yes. Or this character does feature in a game on the PlayStation.
He's given a little bit more away than he wanted to there.
No, I wanted to. I really wanted to give that more information.
Is it on the PlayStation? Is it from a Capcom game?
Not Capcom, no.
Is it from a Konami game?
No.
Is it from a Rockstar game?
No.
Is it from a Sega game?
No.
Well, that's not very good, is it?
You've just eliminated all of that, including Nintendo as well.
Yeah, I know. This is what's bizarre. Oh, is it from a Squeenix game?
No.
Crumbs.
Crumbs, indeed.
Crumbs. We're down to the indie developers. Is it from a Sony game?
It's indie. Sony, those famous.
Yeah, well, you know.
Is it the Haunted Mansion guy?
Is it that guy who throws his head? What's his name?
Oh God, the Knight.
Yeah. Is it something Fortescue?
Let's not go down this path. This is a weird tangent. Try and guess the game. It's not that one.
Is it the head throwing man guy? Okay.
No. And it's also not a Sony game.
It's not a Sony game. Is it from Valve?
No.
BioWare?
No.
Blizzard?
No.
I'm sticking.
Okay. You're questioning.
Yeah.
You went from SNES to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't have gone in that direction.
Ooh. But you said it was on the PlayStation, not on the SNES.
Yes. Or at least
On the PlayStation.
this character appeared on.
Is it on a NES game? From a NES game?
Not exclusively, but from NES era, it was definitely available on the NES.
Is it Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No.
Is it one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, it's not.
Oh, that would have been Konami anyway. I'd already ruled it out, right?
Yep, exactly.
Damn. Was it also on the Master System?
Yes.
Jeez, what was cross-plat back then? Oh God, is it the fucking guy from Shadow of the Beast?
No. I could not tell you what that guy's name is. I don't want to know it. Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
Don't. All that lore tucked behind fucking running faces of
My head canon is much better than any canon that anybody could put together for Shadow of the Beast.
Agreed. Just to rule it out because I'm already here. Is it the guy from Altered Beast?
No. Since I'm already here. I love it.
You're at Shadow Beast, Altered Beast. Those games are basically interchangeable in my mind. Just from what I remember of the box art cover of
I really wish I had bothered to play the remake of Shadow of the Beast. Remake? Or sequel or whatever it was. The PlayStation 4 one.
Oh, yeah.
That would be nice. I think just to spend time doing that. I wish it came out for a different platform. Anyway, we digress. Or I digressed for you.
Thank you. Is it from an Amiga game?
It was definitely on Amiga as well, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is it Leisure Suit Larry?
No.
Okay. From a platformer. Can they jump?
Yes.
Can they double jump?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Do they have a life bar or do they have pips? Oh, sorry.
Neither.
Neither. That wasn't a yes or no question either. Can you get hit more than once before dying?
No.
You can't get hit more than once. So you just hit one and done.
Yes, one and done. One life
One
and done.
Bushido blading it. Is it Dizzy the Egg?
No.
I don't think that was ever on NES. or PlayStation for that matter. Is it New Zealand Story also not on NES?
Is that? That's not Konami. No. No, it's not New Zealand Story.
Okay, fine. What's the name of that developer? Is it an Ocean game? Is it Ocean?
It's not Ocean. No.
Codemasters? No.
No.
Psygnosis?
No.
Taito?
Yes.
Is it in a Taito game?
Yes, it is in a title game. Well done.
Ooh, is it
Nailed it.
Bub?
Yes.
Yay!
Brilliant. Oh, that was tough.
I got there.
Yeah, so the first question you had was, is this human? And like, oh, okay. The lore states that the little dragon was once a human, and it's the human that's in Rainbow Islands and Parasol Stars. So I didn't want you to get trapped down that path. I feel like it was just going to be confusing.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that.
Mm.
And then, of course, it was... Yeah, but that game's gone to quite a few platforms. But no,
Yeah, it has.
no NES or SNES.
I mean, I just decided to double check with Wikipedia. It looks like that whole NES era or SNES era just got skipped. Really,
Snub. What a snub.
yeah. So you had Bubble Bobble in 1986, Rainbow Islands in 87. Then you had to wait till 91 for Parasol Stars. And then Bubble Bobble just didn't get any really releases until 2000 plus. And that was like DS and stuff like that. I mean, it came out in every platform. It was even out in blooming mobile phones in the early 2000s as well.
That's another game with a banging song.
It really is. I mean, that is yeah. It's stuck in your head already now.
Yeah. Just the what do you call it? The thingy screen before it starts.
Yep.
What is the name of that? Teaser screen?
Opening screen, I would say.
Hold it.
Teaser. It's not teasing anything.
Oh no, for like like arcades have the rolling.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Here's
The
what you could be
rolling demo.
playing, and then that kind of came over to consoles where if you just don't touch the controller, it will either give you character bios or
Yeah.
know.
It's the equivalent today of like Netflix immediately pushing you onto the next episode without being able to watch credits.
We are halfway through a series on Apple TV that we do not want to watch. But when you finish something, it's like, hey, you want to watch this? And by that point, we've got up and gone to the toilet, and yeah, we're now not halfway, but 2 episodes into a series we've not watched a single second of.
Brilliant.
Anyway, this week's podcast, after a lightning quick game of characterizer level.
I mean, that's the wonder of season 5 is how quick and snappy this new gimmick
We've listened
is.
to all the feedback. Your episodes are too long. Hey, here we give you the preamble in 30 minutes. This week, as I mentioned earlier, I've been playing a lot of new games I've already played on New Game Plus. Richie, with your dick in the corner?
My dick in the corner.
Dictionary corner, yeah. Okay, with your dick in the corner. What is New Game Plus, would you say?
New Game Plus is traditionally an RPG mechanic, at which point, when you have finished the game, you get to play the game again, but usually with a new set of rules. Either harder or you're able to carry over certain things, or you're able to approach the game in other ways, keep levels, etc. And it exists as a trope. Officially, the first game to do this was Chronic Trigger. However, you had an interesting take on, I believe, one of the Kirby games allowed you to keep something, and therefore you consider it a kind of New Game Plus. And I'd love to hear the take on it.
So I think when we were texting about this week's episode, and you're like, of course, Chrono Trigger's the first game in New Game Plus. And I was like, when did Chrono Trigger come out? No, that's not true. But I think what you are correct is that was the of which I was surprised to learn, and maybe I'm just stealing your thunder, but that was the game which actually called it New Game Plus. It appeared the words New Game Plus appeared on the screen, which is fair enough. But games were doing it for long before. My first one I remember seeing, probably because I didn't actually finish many games before 1994 because they were really fucking hard, was Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. You play through that, it is very easy, and then at the end, and you could have done this all along, it says, I think there's something like there's an extra mode or extra game. So if you hold down an A on the title screen, you can play the whole game again on a slightly more difficult. So easy baddies are replaced by harder baddies, and you have less lives or something. But obviously Kirby's Dream Land is the first game to do that. There were various other games where if you beat them, then something different would happen or be remixed the next time you play it.
So there was a thing that so I looked into this because I found it a little bit hard because obviously the Game Boy or Kirby's Dream Land didn't actually have the ability to save your game. And it wasn't really until we sort of reached the SNES era that we were able to save progress, or the cartridges would have the ability to sort of save how far you'd got along. So I think when we're talking about the RPGs and New Game Plus, like, there had to be a level of progress. From what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, with Kirby's Dream Land, you actually had to complete the game. But if you turned your Game Boy off at any point, you were just starting from scratch.
So the clever way they did it is the first time you beat the game, they give you this tip.
Oh, so this is what you're saying. So
yeah,
you
so
press. You can
yes.
do this. Ah,
So
okay.
I'm sure there's some unfortunate soul out there who accidentally hurtled down an A on the title screen the first time they played Kirby's Dream Land. Like, oh fuck, this game's hard. It's not that hard. It doesn't get that much harder. Yeah, so that was their way of doing it in the days before save files and remembering what was up to. Your reward for doing it is it tells you, hey, there's this cool thing that you can do. A bit like a cheat code. Lots of games had those. We could unlock the sound stuff.
Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole of games that do similar things, and interestingly, I found out Super Mario Brothers, like on the NES, has a similar mechanic.
Yes, I saw that on a list.
Yeah.
I thought, huh. So tell me about it.
So, Super Mario Brothers.
Is this the 2-player one or?
No, this is
That's Mario Brothers.
Yeah. So this is the one with World 1-1 and the Goombas and the pipes and like. I suppose that doesn't actually distinguish the two.
You just listed the 3 elements of Mario Brothers. Mario's in it.
It's the princess is another castle game. Yeah, okay. If you die, like you run out of lives.
Yeah.
You're on World 3. You've drowned, and that's your last life over. Oh well. So you're booted back to the main screen.
Yeah.
You just have the option of like start a new game.
Yeah.
But if you hold down A and start, you'll just continue from World 3.
Oh.
So that there was logic in there to sort of let you continue on and play through those hard worlds. I never knew this existed.
So we just chuck you back to 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Which isn't terrible, you know.
No, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And like you learn those worlds pretty well by doing that. And I think that's a great thing that I wish everybody knew. Apparently it was like in the manual. But who read that?
Come on.
So
there you go, readers. Hot tips for 50-year-old games.
But
printed in the manual. You heard it here first. The guys of Maniac the podcast.
Yeah. Top tip. Send it into Kotaku. But what you were saying about Kirby's Dream Land,
Yeah.
it's just playing it on a harder version, correct? It doesn't
Yeah,
actually
just
carry
playing on
over anything.
a slightly harder version.
So
No.
it's just okay.
It carries over the knowledge that you've done it.
Okay, cool. Because I would say that a New Game Plus, I suppose you're right. It does like you get to play a different version. But yes, I think traditionally what I would consider a New Game Plus is because we've seen it done so many times is the ability to either carry over levels and I can't think of it outside of an RPG mechanic at all. But basically, it's a roguelike sort of way to approach games. And when you think about some of the old classic RPGs on the SNES, where you would just grind till you got to a point where the boss that you had to fight, you didn't need to worry too much about the mechanics. It's kind of like that, but on a grander scale. Or at least that's the way I look at New Game Plus. It's kind of like you've done the grind, but you get to keep the grind, and also like you get to see it from like a completely different point of view. And usually they chuck in other stuff. They chuck in monsters that you were never going to be able to beat unless you were in New Game Plus mode, sort of thing.
Yeah, sometimes it's even extra levels or secret areas or that door that you could notice but not do anything with.
Yeah.
Resident Evil it was very exciting when you do it and you finish it and like, here's a key. And then it would show you a room which was quite hard to recognize, if memory serves. Particularly on like an old CRT. It's like, here's the key for this door. You're like, what? What? Where?
What door? I don't remember there being a door
Yeah,
that I didn't open.
So that's kind of cool. And then now it's just so part of the language of video games that it will just be called New Game Plus, right? These days on the PlayStation. No, I've whinged about it before, but on your list of like trophies or whatever, if there's a game that has DLC or sometimes even not, there'll be just a whole category of trophies under New Game Plus, and they'll just call it New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. People will just freely and easily talk about, did you New Game Plus it, or I'm playing it on New Game Plus. It's become baked in, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have a game you can chew and come back to that isn't like one and done.
Well, there's something there for you, or I guess it incentivizes the replay, right?
Yeah, and it's usually going to be to like play about with mechanics as opposed to you don't want to have to run through the plot again. Like here, have a look at some of the crazy, wacky things we did that actually made this game a game, not a visual novel.
Yeah. But then some games do make you sit through a cutscene.
Yes,
so do you can you think of any games where you played it and beat it and then instantly jumped in and started a New Game Plus?
I think two jump to mind straight away. Tales of Vesperia, which I think we've talked about before, and I've tried to detail to you how the New Game Plus worked. But basically, it's an RPG, action RPG, and at the end of the game there is an extra currency that you're made aware of, and it's called gold, like gold but spelled with an A.
Oh,
gold.
I was at the whiteboard.
Yeah.
What are we gonna call our new currency?
But that currency you can get in game by doing feats or by defeating certain enemies in this particular way. And one thing that you could do was maximize your combos. And basically, thanks to the internet and people doing their things, the way to do this was you use one particular character, you equipped a weapon which made her do 0 damage or 1 damage, I think it was, and you get a certain group of mobs, and you just do this sort of whirlpool move, which just keeps them sort of like they're being hit, but they're sort of like dancing on the edge of the whirlpool, and you just keep doing that over and over and over and over and over. So they're just getting this combo meter, and because you've got a group of 4 of them, it's going up at 4 at a time, 4 at a time, 4 at a time. Your combo's going up to like hundreds to thousands, and then that translates to like 1,000 combo becomes 100 gold, which is quite a substantial amount. And so you do that until you've got a ridiculous amount of gold, which is also, I believe, in game it's not actually counted, so you can't see until you actually go and defeat the final boss character. Now, I've sort of gone through these mechanics. It's not very interesting, so I'm going to stop talking about the mechanics. But basically, once you've completed the game, you then get a menu for New Game Plus, and you have to spend that on the things you want to do for your next game.
Just on that, you've got that one chance to do it.
Yes, and that's what's exciting. You know, it's kind of like, right, do I want all enemies to only be able to do 1 damage to me? Or do I want to have, you know, 1 hit and kill for me? Like, I have to play it on super hard mode, like Dark Souls mode. You know, like, and they've got all these options for you to pick and choose. And honestly...
Can you, like, just permanently fuck your game up?
Yes, absolutely.
Because the only way to turn it off is to beat it again.
Well, no, you've always got your save point, so you can go back into that menu and start a new game, but you've spent it, so you do have to choose. Yeah. But, like, you can go to a save point before you've done the gold, and then defeat the bad guy, and then you can start a New Game Plus again if you wanted to. I don't think it's like be all and end all fucked up your game, but you can start a game that is impossibly hard, or you can make it ridiculously easy. You know.
How long does that game take to beat? Is it a long game? It sounds like a long game, you know.
I think I spent 150 hours on the first playthrough.
Okay. All right. So it's not exactly like you're like, oh, I'll do 4 runs of this with some interesting gimmicks turned on and off.
No, I mean it is. Well, no, I think you can play the game in probably like 30 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's so much in that game. Like, there's achievements that are dedicated to just the interactions people have. So that there's like certain things like, because you're able to cook during the game, and you'll cook before you go to sleep so that you can get bonuses for the next day, sort of thing. And during those interactions, if you have like cooked a certain meal, or you got somebody to do the cooking as opposed to whatever, there'll just be interactions, and there'll be funny little skits. They're not in 3D, they're just sort of like floating head, visual novel things, but they were fun, and they added so much flavour to the game. It was a really, really great game. I love that as a Tales of game, and I started playing another one on the DS, and I was loving that as well. I own about 5 Tales of games that have come out since, but I just can't feel I can commit to 150 hours plus. You know.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
This guy's quite a tough one, but yeah, like Tales of Vesperia, it was a 360, and I think it was 20 years ago it came out, or whatever. But it was, yeah, I think it probably still stands the test of time as a game.
Well, there's a nice segue there.
Yeah, go on.
To one of the games that I've been playing on New Game Plus. For some reason, I tell you why. There's a story here. So I recently got a new phone, and as part of getting a new phone, you have to like re-download all your apps and
Yep.
grab your save files. So I was doing that, and I was logging into a lot of games I've not touched for a while. One of which was Fire Emblem Heroes, I think.
Okay.
It's a gacha game. It's I was gonna take some screenshots to send. I think I sent you some screenshots. It's outrageous. It is just fan service. So particularly, there is also like a tactical game under there, but in a gacha style. And again, like to get some of the top tier rewards, you really have to think, and there's a million ways you can tweak your team and ally them and feed them to each other and all this business. But there's a lot of kind of, your favourite busty Fire Emblem characters in a scanty Christmas outfit, and there's like a whole beachwear thing, etc.
Yeah.
So I was I was playing that, and because I hadn't logged in for ages, there's just like loads of free summons. So I was doing that. I thought, I really like the Fire Emblem series. I should finish Fire Emblem Three Houses. Fire Emblem Three Houses is the Harry Potter one where you start as a school teacher. There are 3 houses. You choose which one to align yourself with. But you reminded me of it because you're talking about these interactions, and that's largely what you're doing. So you can just play it as a tactical battling game, but between the missions, or actually when you fight alongside your characters, it's all about building up your social bonds, to unlock your different levels of interactions.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can end up getting married to one of your favourite characters. So I'd finished it with one house on classic mode, so quite a few people died along the way. I was like, there's 2 more houses to do, right? These other characters in the background. So I was quite far through, beat the game, and then immediately went back in. And the new game plus element there is you do keep a bunch of your stuff, so you get like point. It's very similar to what you're talking about, actually. This currency called Renown, you kind of get those points, and then you can choose to spend that on leveling up your character or interactions with people you had strong interactions with. So you can't skip back to exactly where you were before on a new start, but you can kind of skip over some stuff you feel is less important. So I started with a new house, and then that was one of those. Started playing at 6 o'clock, and then had to force myself to turn it off at like 2 o'clock in the morning because I'd work the next day, and you've got the bloody veins in the eyes because you've just been looking at a screen for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, really enjoying that, and you can kind of convince people from the other 2 houses to join your team, but you have to so at the moment I'm trying to build a all-female team because the guys are just not very interesting.
Yeah.
So I've got some of the
their beachwear's rubbish and their scanty Christmas
unfortunately there's no beachwear in 3 houses. It'd be really problematic because when you first play it, they're all like 6. I think one of them's 15 and the rest
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a time skip in this game which is good for both narrative and other reasons. There's a 5-year time skip, I think, to avoid, the possibility of you marrying a 15-year-old as a professor. And so I chose another house, and I've been trying to recruit some of these people to my team, but they'll kind of be like, I'm kind of happy in my current house. However, if you had good dex and horse riding skills, I might join your team. And then you spend your missions and your intermissions time
just
leveling
horse
up.
riding over and over. And over.
Sure idea. Gotta find the horse riding tutor. Cheating in the back of a battle, just riding around on a horse whilst everyone else is doing the fighting. Just convince them. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying that, and that's the only payoff. So you could easily argue, well, just watch a YouTube video that shows you all the A to S interactions between every character, but that's not the point, is it?
Nope.
You want to build up these connections, and you do. So each character starts pretty much as default, but they come with like one skill, which kind of gives you an indication of, this person should probably be a monk, or this person should probably be a warrior. But you end up choosing what you do, but it's through those fucking ups and stories, and then so like one of the women on my team has just become like a psycho killer with a hammer, just because we didn't really aim for that. She started off with an axe, and then she's got really good at axing things. Now she's just my go-to. Oh, that person needs hammering in the face. Go and smack him in the face.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And in the meantime, there's also some runts to the litter. So there's a big burly guy called Raphael. His time on my team is limited because he's a guy. But because I've kind of much like number of pig teats plus one piglet, right? Who doesn't get enough milk. He's in the background always, so he's like 3 levels lower than anybody else. And I just, I leave him on his own like quite a bit, and it's like, just do him, just take him out.
Get the message, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You know when I gave everyone else a steel shield and you still have no shield? Yeah? Huh? Huh?
Get the message.
Get the message.
It's not tough love.
But he's hanging in there. So I think if he hangs in anymore, he'll be kind of endear himself to me, and I'll have to invest some time in it. But yeah, that kind of that was finishing a game and going straight back into it because I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed it. Yeah. And then mentally, because my first playthrough I think was 70 hours, and again that was taking my sweet time, doing everything, doing all the bits in between that you don't strictly need to do. And not only is there like obviously another playthrough because it's 3 houses and see how it goes there, but then they released DLC about the 4th house.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool.
House, yeah.
It is. They really are the secret. Like they live underneath the school. And it's kind of ragtag bunch of so that's great.
Goths and emos.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of a freaks and geeks type situation. So I might skip the 3rd house because it's the least interesting. I guess that. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was my Fremblem story.
Cool. Yeah, I was thinking a little bit more about Tales of Vesperia and trying to remember the actual game and how it played through. And thinking about it, mechanically, I think it played quite similarly to Final Fantasy VII remake. Except, yeah,
okay.
Except that you had encounters, so you would actually run into, or you would just be running in the overworld, and you would a thing would appear, and then you're there. But if memory serves me, you control one character, and the other characters are AI, but you can choose how they work and what moves they will do, and you can choose them to be more defensive and stuff like that.
So, but is it specific in that you can give them orders like in Final Fantasy VII, or is it like just a flavor, generally be on defense or generally be aggressive?
If I understand, or if I remember, it was you set this in a menu before you have the encounter, so you can't control them in the fight itself. You only have one character you control. But each one of the characters has different flavors. So you've got like the main generic dude who hits people with a sword. Then you've got like a ranged person who uses like bow and arrow. Then you've got a mage who's doing fireballs and AoEs and all this sort of stuff. And you also have a healer who is my favourite character. And she can do like AoE heals, or she can do direct heals. And so everyone else is like, they've got their role, they're doing their thing, they're not fucking shit up. But I think you've got the ability to say everybody defend. Like if you know an attack's coming in, or you've got the ability to say, everybody back on the attack. But you're just using normal controls like menu, or I believe you can actually do slashy. But if you press triangle, it'll use the magic attack that you've assigned to it before. So it's sort of like pre-done, which I think anyway, like it just reminded me of like, because I've been complaining about Final Fantasy Remake and how I don't understand the controls, and I was just thinking that's kind of an action RPG as well.
In fact, you got a little bit more control in Remake.
Yeah, no.
Speaking of which,
New Game Plus.
that is my next New Game Plus. Is
okay.
Mostly motivated by, I think there's like 4 trophies left. You can only get them by playing through on hard mode. So there's like a couple of bosses that you only get on hard mode, and then I think there's like a trophy for doing it on hard mode. So I was like, okay. And I think I talked about this recently. I tried when I first beat it to play it on hard, and it was really, really hard. What I didn't realize is that it is actually New Game Plus, and all your levels carry over, and all your materia carries over. So, because I've been replaying it a lot, basically for trophies or to get Clouds to go on the date with Don Corneo, they're all quite high level, so it's a little bit easier. Except there are occasional bosses. So if you remember, which are really tough, because you fight Reno is one of the earliest bosses. You remember that?
Yes.
There's also the Airbuster on the bridge.
Yeah.
And then did you do the bit on the motorcycle
with the crazy dude?
Yeah, the crazy dude. He's really so. For the most part, it's much more manageable, except at these points. But it's good because you'll have a go and get completely flattened. And you're like, oh, fuck, okay, I'll have another go. But this time I'll do, use assess materia. Okay, he's weak to this. And then the next couple of runs, it will be close. Oh, this is doable. So I'm finding it much more satisfying because clearing those bosses is really earned. But it's fucking tough. So at the moment, how far did you get?
I got to the ghosts and the...
Oh, yeah.
No, it was after Reno. Oh, crap. I can't remember where I got.
Are you hanging out with Aerith?
Oh, yeah. It's after Aerith, and I've gone back and Tifa's rejoined the party.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're past it. So at the moment, I'm on...
Yeah, the ghosts had turned up at the... What's it called? The Seventh Heaven.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you have to kind of fight them. Okay, so I think you're past it, maybe not. Anyway, spoilers. There's a rude fight.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think I've got that.
Okay, so that's what I'm currently stuck on. And so working out how to beat that. I got classic tropey meme thingies. First time through is by far the furthest I got. The next 19 times didn't even get anywhere close. Yeah, so just there's a lot to be said for confidence, not really knowing, and then the more strategic you get, the worse I seem to be doing.
Yep, absolutely. I've got to use that this time. Oh shit, I missed it. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So I'm really enjoying that. Again, another game that doesn't really need much new life breathed into it. It's long and big enough first time round, but I am enjoying the challenge there. And the last game I am new game plusing is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So I beat that. I've started the year really strong. beat quite a few
I've
games.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, I think our New Year's resolution episode kicked me out the ass. And again, finished that, and I've got like 2 trophies left, which are both linked to doing on hard, like extreme mode. I think it's like the trophy for doing on extreme, the trophy for doing it on the difficulty below extreme, and then the platinum trophy. And I thought, it's fucking Tomb Raider. How extreme can extreme be?
Yeah.
You're just exploring the old tombs, and it's really interesting because, again, the carryover is all your, there's a big skill tree. You get to keep all of that, which is good because there's no way of filling it out, I think, there's no way of filling it out on a single playthrough. I pretty much did everything I could do, and there were like 5 or 6 bits, and then New Game Plus gives you another 9 things to unlock on top of that. But one of the interesting things for essentially like an exploration game with a bit of combat is some of the things which make it difficult are the what's the trope? I think it's like the yellow paint they call it now. Based off of what was that running game with Faith? Mirror's Edge?
Mirror's Edge. Yeah, so obvious areas where you have to.
Yeah. Oh, here's where
interact with,
you have to pop or climb or go next.
Yeah,
Some people call it yellow paint. I can't remember which game it is that has yellow paint. So they remove all of that.
Brutal.
which is when I read the description, I was like, that'll be fine. I've also just played it through. That adds a bit of challenge to it.
Bet.
It's fairly linear in that the vista or the panorama or heading towards the light or the cave gives you a good indication of the broad direction you should be taking. But there have been some bits already. I'm about halfway through the game where I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? Because it's not like slathered with a kind of it's not like paint, but it's like a white chalky type thing.
A big indicator, yeah.
Yeah, a big indicator of this is a climbable surface versus this is not a climbable surface. If you jump at it, you will just fall off into oblivion. And then the other difficult bit is there's no checkpointing, and I hadn't realised
how
much I had been relying on the kind of informal checkpointing. Kicks you back, essentially back to the beginning of the chapter or the bonfire. There's like a system of bonfires when you get to new areas, and that's what's pretty grueling because you just have to do an entire sequence without dying, albeit dying in combat or falling off something. Or the bit that's doing me in at the moment is every now and then there's like a chase sequence.
Okay.
Where you're running, away from the screen and a bit Scooby-Doo-ish. You're running along, you'll kick over something, and then you'll come to a thing, and there'll be some guys on the left and some guys on the right, and you have to head in the middle. If you fail those, it's right back to the beginning of the section.
It sounds like
not
video
the running
games from
section.
the 90s.
Yeah, it's not back to the beginning of the running section. It's back to the beginning of the running section, and the boss you had to fight, and the puzzle you had to do to get to the boss, and the traversal you had to do to get to that, and that's what's like.
And they're already like possible fuck ups again and again.
Yeah. There's like a tricky jump here, or a bit where these three guys spawn in, and if you fuck up a bit, then that's really tough.
Yeah.
Or if you cut this rope whilst you're standing underneath the thing, then it will get you. So yeah, that's not filling my heart with joy. But I remember you said that the reason why people weren't hot on Shadow of the Tomb Raider was because it was quite short.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the complaints, which I thought surprising because it took me quite a while. But when you're just beelining it, ignoring all the side shit, all the side quests, all the leveling up, it's really short. You can do that. I mean, you're not fucking up every 2 seconds. Yeah. It's basically like 10 big sequences and that's it.
But at least they have all the other exploration. And I mean, you're just ruining your own fun, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that really is the complaint, yeah. If you don't want those cool skills, if you don't want to max out your weapons, if you don't want to, unlock new outfits which give you different things, then okay, fine, you can beeline it, but why would you? Surely you want to spend some time in that world.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
I'm gonna move off Tomb Raider unless there's anything else you wanted to.
No, that's
mention.
it. That's my trio of replaying, albeit all on New Game Plus games this year.
So I have one other game to mention and then an honourable mention.
Okay.
But the other game I was going to mention that has a New Game Plus that I'm aware of is Final Fantasy X-2.
Oh, really? Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you're able to keep the levels of your dress spheres,
Yeah.
But also, and this is the classic thing, if you do everything correct in the first game,
Yeah.
all of the side missions, all those little tiny things that they don't measure for you or tell you if you've done them correct in any fashion, you get the Moogle suit,
Oh, right. Okay.
which you can use in New Game Plus. Of course, there's absolutely zero reason to do New Game Plus because you've absolutely nailed
Yeah.
everything in the first
Yeah.
first playthrough. But I believe you get to keep dress sphere levels and things like that. So your characters are just massively overpowered, and the Moogle suit takes ages to level up. So the whole point is play through the game again with this massively underpowered but becomes overpowered suit or dress sphere.
Did you ever do that?
We don't talk about that, Farley.
Oh, no. You've got to go
No.
back and
So
ace.
I did it once.
I'm just looking at photos of it. It is particularly stupid.
Yeah, but I believe it's got like crazy skills applied to it as well. No, the very first time that I played through Final Fantasy X-2, I got to the end and I was so sure I'd done everything right,
Oh, mate. Yeah.
and then I just didn't get the suit.
Yeah. I mean, like, maybe... Okay, didn't get it before credits. That's fine. Maybe it's after credits.
Yeah, no,
okay,
you,
there's my school screen. Okay, I think
then-
maybe it's when I
yeah,
save
googling
my
it
save
or
file.
Ask Jeevesing it at that
Oh,
point.
no, it's not. Maybe it's when I start the gaming. Oh, no.
Maybe I have to get it in the game. You know, like go
Maybe I
and
have to
find
play the
it.
first 2 hours of the game. Oh, no.
But anyway, yeah, I did play through it again about 6 months after that. Just get it done, follow everything absolutely to the letter, 100%. I had somebody there helping me, just like, right, okay, do this, get that, and then I did it. Never touched it again. I think I unlocked it, didn't even see it in game. I had no desire to play 10-2 again until about, I don't know, 5 years ago when I played it on the PSP. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
My PSP phase.
Yeah, I remember that.
PSP phase was good. It was. I played through it, and again, felt all the original pain of. Right, I'm sure I've done it. Yeah. So I had like a text file on my phone which had all of the points, what you need to do. You can't let X number of packages fall off the cart as it's going through its animation as people are talking to you. Which sounds easy enough. Like you got to get all the al-bed that was the other thing. Is like there's a whole language, and you have to get primers so that you can understand how they speak. So when you play New Game Plus, you actually understand everything they're saying.
You can understand everything from
the get go.
That's
like-
kind of cool.
It's just like calling Naniki, you know.
Well, you do it, and the first guy who is speaking out bed, which in your first run through, I had no idea what they're saying. It's just like,
Did you get the Moogle suit? It's the first thing you said.
yeah. Have you seen my dog? Or I like cabbages or something. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. No, it's not worth it. But like, yeah. So I've twice played through Final Fantasy 13-2. No,
10-2.
Final Fantasy 10-2. Yeah, the dress spheres. I think I did 13 before. I didn't mean to.
Do they each have one? Is the Tonberry and the XIII suit also the Moogle suit? Or the Moogle suit for the other two?
Yeah, so I think it's basically, I think it's the mascot sphere, I think it's called. So one person gets a Moogle, one person gets a Tonberry. I guess in Pain gets Tonberry. It's a very emo character.
Oh, yeah, with the knife and the...
Yeah.
Yeah, she does, yeah. Cutlery,
Yeah.
Bushido, Black Magic. Riku gets the XIII thing.
Yeah, that seems appropriate as well.
I had a similar moment, again, on this Fire Emblem thing. I was like, oh, do you know, there's another game that I like, Fire Emblem Warriors, which is the thingy game, Muzu game. Dynasty
Muzu
Warriors.
game.
Yeah, the Dynasty Warriors
Oh yeah,
Fire
yeah, yeah,
Emblem
yeah,
game,
yeah, yeah.
or the first one.
There's a new one coming out, and it's apparently game changing.
Oh, the new
Dynasty
Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's not a series with obvious mass appeal, but you do find people who absolutely love them.
Anytime I play a Dynasty Warriors game,
Yeah.
I have fun. Like
Yeah.
I love the skinned ones. So there's a Dynasty Warriors, but it's One Piece. So it's One Piece characters, and that's great.
I think
I love
there
it.
are
Just
there are
swathes of enemies.
there are now like more non Dynasty Warriors games.
Brilliant.
Dynasty Warriors
And
games.
that is not a mean feat in itself.
No,
There's 20
it
odd of
is,
them, you know.
Yeah. I even enjoyed the Legend of Zelda one. Like,
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so I was like, I didn't finish that because it's fucking huge. I did finish the story, but there's just loving extra content. They give these historic. This they call it history mode. But basically, you get to play through all the old Fire Emblem games. With the same characters and plot, albeit in a Dynasty Warriors way, or mission by mission. So it's kind of cool. One of the achievements there, there's like a massive page of achievements of sinking hundreds of hours into it. One of them there is there's a thing you can do to get a buff before every mission, and I think there's about 111 of them. And they have like weak, medium, strong, and then there are other special ones like, for example, if you use this one, the character you control can't attack, so essentially you become like a strategy person. So you have to rely on ordering your allies around, but you physically can't attack. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, I was sure, again, had a list on my phone, crossed them off as I went, got to number 111. I was like, yeah, and it's not, you get nothing, right? It's just on the achievements screen. It says yes, you did it. Did number 111, which I think was this like commander one, because it's quite tough. Nothing. What
have you missed? Yeah.
What I missed.
What went wrong?
Yeah.
And there's no communication to you. What went wrong?
There's no tick boxes. There's no screen which says yes, you've done this and this. I mean, there's enough content in that game that I could probably do them all over again, but I just don't have the heart to.
Yeah. I mean, the heartbreaking thing is, I would probably have enjoyed playing through Final Fantasy X-2 again with the mascot sphere. And read everything, and I'd have enjoyed it, but it was just sour. It's just sour when you don't get it,
Yeah, I think I talked about this in the podcast. I recently finished Resident Evil 0, and on some versions of the game, I don't think it was on the GameCube, maybe it was, you unlock a leech hunter mode, which is a slightly different mode, like an arcadey mode, using the same levels from the game to get these leech hunters. There's a whole bunch of stuff stuck behind this leech hunter mode, including unlocking weapons for the main game. For some reason, I didn't save Scum, right? I was like, I'll just write over my thingy, and then I started a new game and lost access to leech hunter mode.
What?
Yeah, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And so, again, I was going to play the game again, but because I had to, like you were saying, just this sour note, just this sour, like, I've done this already. I shouldn't have had to do this again. Be more clear, game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just leaving a sour taste in the mouth.
But it's okay. We have a million other games in the backlog that are more important. But I was going to say, Final Fantasy X, not X-2.
Yeah.
Did it have a New Game Plus?
I don't think so.
Because I remember, like, in the main game itself, you had these horrible dark aeons that you had to go through. Do you remember, the dark versions?
Summons.
Yeah. But dark versions of them. And they were, like, nigh on impossible unless you got your characters to ridiculously high levels and did the sphere breaking. or the sphere grid breaking, where you could like break down walls, and you basically could make every character, quadruple 9, everything. But
no, people are saying the only thing you get is it's only the Albed thing which carries over.
It's a new game plus.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, fine. I don't care about that. But no, I was just curious because I know that there was the horrible challenge, the basically like the Emerald and Ruby weapons of Final Fantasy X were the Dark Aeons. Certain ones you had to have certain conditions to find, and I just remember them being like nigh on impossible, but basically you had to put in hours and hours and hours of grinding to get to
was it the Tower of the Dead stuff?
No, like I think there was just a point before the final boss character, before defeating Sin.
Yeah, there's
where
10
Titus
items.
is still alive. Spoilers. But you could go around the world and you would meet people who had the Dark Aeons. Like you had the dark version of the Magic Sisters. I believe they were the easiest ones to find. But like you had to do certain things to get like evil versions of Anima and stuff like that. Anyway, if that doesn't ring a bell, this is the worst podcast. Do you remember that thing where you maybe had to do that thing?
Do you remember that thing that needed us to remember that maybe you did it?
Yeah, but I didn't do it. I did not do that. But yeah, I was just wondering if, because I remember 10.2 having the new game mode. I just wondered if 10 had the new game mode.
Not that I remember, and not that the internet says.
Okay, cool. The 13 Final Fantasy 13 and 13.2, I don't think they had new game pluses. I think they just had sort of end game grind points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fair fucking enough, Those games are long enough.
Oh, I know. It's just I feel like it's been a Square Enix kind of trope, or Square trope, for a long time. I think Super Mario RPG has a new game plus as well. I'll never find out. But there was a lot of these top-down RPGs that had New Game Plus. Listen, is there any more that you want to talk about?
No, that's it.
I have one honourable mention.
Go for it.
Which kind of, just to come full circle, Super Mario World has a New Game Plus. Once you've completed every single level, like all 96 levels.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Or I might be mistaken. It might be when you just complete Bowser for the first time. You get a new cycle of enemies. So it's really, really weird and it's mad. So Koopa Troopers, you know how you get the 4 different colours of them?
Yeah.
Yellow, red, blue. Instead of having shells, they have big Mario masks that they wear. But it's not for every enemy in the game. There's 6 or 7 of the enemies. They just change ever so slightly to look different. I think Bullet Bills become something else, and Chomps have become piranhas, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which is fun, and it's nice, and it's cool to go through the game and have a slightly different colour palette. Oh yeah, I think things were autumny. Like I think where it was green before, it became a sort of browny yellow, which is fun. And I don't know how many people ever did that, but yeah, it was a fun little new game plus. But all it was palette swap.
No, that is fun. I've been playing new phone Super Mario Run.
Oh, okay.
Just it's a fun thing to sit and play, and I was like, oh, I never really looked into this. And each level has 3 pink coins to collect. But then once you collect once you collect all 5, you then unlock like purple coins, but the level and the enemies change ever so slightly, so it gets more difficult, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually wanted to go into a slightly more existential debate about New Game Plus and whether it's just a roguelike, but very, very long way with a massive loop, and debate that. But I think let's just say,
for most of these games, not, because you've got that one iteration. But then there's a game we should just fucking both play because we talk about it enough. There's games like Nier.
Nier Automata, yeah, you were saying that
Yeah.
it has like 900
Yeah,
New Game Plus.
you just have to keep playing it and 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 like, you know, the ending you got the third time round.
By all accounts, is a game that I would like. It is basic, or we would like, because it's basically Devil May Cry style, action RPG, fun.
Yeah.
Slightly sexy, busty.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, the original. I'm not too sure. Like, yeah, if it wasn't for 2B, my awareness of that game would be zilch. Like,
yeah, absolutely zilch.
I just don't think it was. I don't know. I don't think it was available or something. Yeah, it just completely passed me by, and it was like, "Hey, Nier 2 Automata," and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Nier is amazing." And I hadn't heard anyone say anything about Nier. But I think we should end on the ultimate New Game Plus, kind of question mark, which is Leon A, Claire B.
Oh yeah, playing them both in tandem.
Or playing one after the other and it being a little bit different already.
Well, yeah, no, it's good. Like, it's so weird because it's multiversal, and it's like in a universe where, you know, Leon leapt out the right side of the car,
yeah,
and in a universe where Claire jumped out the right side of the car. That's the A scenarios. They're two different universes. But the B scenario is basically Leon's A scenario is Claire B scenario, and they exist in the same timeline.
Yeah,
and then
but you can't play. You don't play Leon A then Claire A. No, you play.
You can't play it in that or. Well, no, you can.
You can. Yeah, A and B is the same universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same timeline, same sliding doors. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, but even then they aren't.
Why?
Because I don't think it's canon, right? If you we should set this up again and play it side by side, and I'm sure, you know, in real time, because I'm sure there are parts of the game where you're both in the same place.
Yes, so there's definite crossover, and also one thing that I noticed when playing in the Resident Evil 2 remake. The time it takes for Leon to get to where Claire is, is not conceivably possible. Like, he's just, oh, right, yeah,
yes,
I'm just on the side bit. I'll let you in.
Because he has to.
No way. No way.
He has to run through, climb under, kill some zombies, get a few, pull that guy from out, go back, unlock the doors, go through. Claire just has like walk round the corner from where she jumped out the car.
Yeah. And then go back and get the clippers. And then then just open the door and then, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah.
Yeah. And they should be in completely different mindsets. Instead they're kind of like, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh yeah, fine, it's a bit dangerous.
I know.
Whereas Leo should be
flirting.
Like, fuck me, covered and drenched in blood. He's just in a man ripped in half.
Yeah, ripped in half.
Yeah.
And then the corpse started moving, you know.
Yeah. And she just had a nice garden walk.
Yeah, no. Yeah, she has a garden walk, and then she just walks in, and there's Marvin Barana, Will Smith, just walking about, dead.
Yeah.
Even though in Leon's scenario he doesn't die for a good, you know,
3 hours.
While, yeah.
Yeah. Depending on how slow you are to find the bits.
Yeah, because you're basically trying to find. Yeah, the codes for everything, and I would say Resident Evil 2 Remake doesn't match up, but we found parts where it did match up, a little bit with
Yes. Yeah.
Resident Evil 2, classic Resident Evil 2.
Yes. When we set up two TVs and we were playing. One of us was playing an A game, one of us was playing a B game, and there are bits where, it
does kind of time wise match.
Yeah, but it depends. If you're playing maximum optimal, if you're.
But the thing is, like, and they changed this in Resident Evil 2 Remake, is the A scenarios do not feature Mr. X in any form.
Yes,
Mr.
I like
X
that.
only exists in the B scenario.
Yeah,
But,
which is what happened in the classic one, right?
this is what I'm saying. They changed it in Remake so that Mr. X is in both scenarios now. Which is kind of, it's fine. It's good to have that threat there, but in the classic one, he was only in the B scenarios.
Yeah, because the first one would be Willy Monster and Birkin would be the threat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you find those people dead in the B scenario, so it works out. But things like Claire's running through the main hall of the police station, and Mr. X punches through the wall. You can walk past, and there will never ever be a hole in that wall.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're playing Leon A sort of thing,
Yeah. Yeah. Also,
Um,
I don't think Ben's body's.
You find Ben's body.
You do.
So if
Okay.
you're playing Leon A and Claire B, you will find Ben's body, but you won't be able to interact, or you'll still interact with Chief, and vice versa. So
Yeah,
if
that's
you're
right.
playing
Yeah.
as Leon B, you'll find the Chief's body, and you'll still interact with Ben. But the people who get the chest bursters, because it's one or the other, and whichever. Oh, this is so boring. So boring. so boring. And the worst part is I was so invested in trying to remember who it was and how the plans out. It's not fun. I'm going to stop talking about.
Anyway, that's the
Yeah.
best. There we go, readers. That's the best New Game Plus there ever was. We'll release a special episode on Patreon where Richie vaguely recalls the differences between the games for another 3 hours, available to subscribers only. On a Resident Evil 2 note, Richie, that guy's a maniac.
Oh, why'd he bite me?